Hello and welcome back to iBluAirJgR Gaming for Comedy. This is Montana, the big, bad woodsman with a minigun. And he's also a Peacekeeper defender. Look at this guy's muscles. He works out, he goes to the gym, he's on that serious man mode shit, alright? But seriously though, what are we talking about today? Few things. Number one, the importance of leg day and why it should be every day. Number two, getting in shape for the summer and why the beach is a horrible place. Before we talk about those things though, we're going to talk about Montana and how he plays on the Meltdown game mode. Battleborn has Montana classified as a controller and an initiator, but they neglected to mention he's a tank. With a large figure and the ability to mitigate insane amounts of damage, Montana is perfectly suited for protecting his allies from harm. Although he does this at the cost of his own safety and well-being, with the right group of allies, Montana's size will be more of an advantage than a liability. Montana's first ability is Lumberjack Dash. Montana dashes forward and collides with an enemy, dealing damage and knocking them back. If they hit a wall, they'll be stunned. Next, we have to talk about Montana's primary weapon, a minigun. It has a high rate of fire but deals relatively low damage at long range because it has a wide spread. Additionally, his gun must be revved up in order to fire. Finally, Montana's minigun does not have to reload, but it does generate heat as it fires. Once the heat reaches maximum capacity, it can no longer shoot. His passive ability is Heat Wave. The hotter the minigun gets, the more damage it deals. Montana's second ability is Hailstorm. He loads specialized ammunition into his minigun that slows enemies for a short duration. While Hailstorm is active, the minigun generates less heat and Montana takes reduced damage. Montana's final ability is Mansformation. After a brief activation period, Montana stomps on the ground, dealing massive damage and knocking up all nearby enemies. After the attack is delivered, Montana takes reduced damage for 8 seconds. Okay, here we go. It's time for the big man to start doing some big things. And in order to do those big things, we've got to select our first Helix augmentation. What's it going to be? I'm going to go with Go the Distance. This is going to increase the distance of Lumberjack Dash by 50%. This is going to allow you to initiate fights from a greater distance, pretty much. It's not too complicated for that. But before we continue talking about Montana, of course, we've got to take a look at the teams. My team is Miko, Thorn, Whiskey Foxtrot, Oscar Mike, and myself is Montana. The enemy team, Reyna, Cleese, Marquis, Caldarius, and Wrath. So the enemy team has a bit more versatility because they do have melee, they do have that short to mid-range capability with Caldarius, whereas my team is predominantly a mid-range team. So if they can play on that advantage of, you know, just having a strong melee presence, they're definitely going to do some big things to us and possibly defeat us in the long run. But you know, we'll have to see how that plays out. Obviously, let's see what we can do. But enough about the teams and whatnot. This is all about Montana right now. So what's the deal with Montana? Well, first of all, you can destroy Houdinis, right? What's his name? Marquis, he put out a little Houdini owl, and I'm not having that. I don't like those things. But Montana, he's a really big motherfucker, okay? And if you can't tell already, he towers tremendously high above everything. And that is the biggest thing. That is what makes Montana difficult to play. His ability is pretty straightforward. He's got a big gun. He's got, you know, he can knock people around. He can, you know, freeze them with his ice bullets. But what makes him truly difficult to play is his size. Because he's so freaking big, there's pretty much nowhere on the map where you can actually hide behind. Well, there's very few places on the map where you can actually hide behind things and be safe from enemy fire, especially from a sniper. Snipers are a very big deal for Montana. It looks like I'm going in for an engage already, using that Lumberjack Dash, pushing people into the wall, making them feel a little less safe about pushing around. And I do have Miko standing behind me, giving me a lot of healing, which is very good for Montana. It just allows me to be a little bit more aggressive, stay where I need to be, you know, stay in the lanes as long as possible. And what I'm doing right now is I'm actually taking cover behind this wall, and I'm line of sighting myself from Marquis. The other members of the enemy team can actually still hit me, but Marquis, he's trying to sit back and be a sniper, so he's not really really committing to coming this far ahead, so I am protecting myself in that way. And that's something you've really got to be conscious of when you're playing Montana. His size is ridiculous. He's visible from like pretty much anywhere on the map, so you've just got to be really careful about where you go and what you do with him, because if you get yourself caught out of position, you're going to get screwed up. And wait a minute, let's take the next ability, the old 1-2. Now, instead of just knocking enemies back, Lumberjack Dash is actually going to knock people into the air. So this is actually going to make it a little bit easier for you to crowd control people with Montana. It's going to give you just a stronger presence. So you don't just have to knock people into the wall. You can zoom in like that and just straight up bounce people into the air and just show Caldarius that, boy, you need to stay back there because you one of them little fellas. You need to stay back and let the Lumberjacks do what they do. And in case you don't know what Lumberjacks do, they cut big trees down, but they also, I guess they cut little trees sometimes too. It didn't work that well. Anyway, let's just move on. We're, as you can see, we're taking a bit of a passive approach to this particular match so far, and that's mostly because the enemy team is concentrating a lot of their pressure on this side. They've had 3 people in this lane for the majority. We have had 3 as well, but we don't have that sort of intimidation factor. We don't have any melee characters that can really just get in there and start pounding on him. Miko is a very passive character. Thorn starts out as a very passive character, and then Whiskey Foxtrot and Oscar Mike are on the opposite side of the map, and they're also sort of passive characters that just kind of wait in the back in the mid-range and look for an opportunity. So it's going to be a bit of a slow start, but in the end, it so far is working for us because the score is actually 67-14. It's not a tremendous advantage. It looks like Wrath is trying to take out our accelerator, and he did succeed with that, but I am activating Hailstorm, which is going to give a slowing effect to my projectiles, and it's also going to give me a damage resistance effect. I think it's about 30%. But here's the trick with Hailstorm, and this is one of the things that makes Montana a bit more of a complex character. And wait a minute, actually, Wrath is trying to engage right now, and I think this might be a mistake on his part. I've got a turret, Whiskey Foxtrot, and some minions by my side, so yeah, he's going to go down, and now I'm just going to concentrate my attention on Cleese because he's definitely overextended. But I'm actually taking a lot of damage. I might actually have to back out of that situation. Yeah, that was a good call. It was definitely a good call. But right, with the Hailstorm ability, you have to think when you activate this ability, and this is another reason Montana is a complex character. But coincidentally, this next Helix augmentation is not very complex. Pumped Up is just going to increase my maximum HP by 360. So that's pretty simple. But what isn't simple is Hailstorm, right? So this ability, it's twofold. It has the slowing effect to your bullets, but it also has the damage reduction tied to it. So that means you have to think, is it more important for me to worry about chasing somebody, or do I need to save it for the damage reduction? That's what it's all about. So right now I'm activating Hailstorm specifically for the damage reduction. I want to tank the damage from that turret, from Marquis, and from Reyna, so I don't get chewed the fuck up. Now I still took a lot of damage in that situation, but I took less damage than I would have, 30% less to be exact, if I didn't activate the ability. So that's what you've got to find a balance with for Montana. It's when do I activate Hailstorm? That's very important. So he's difficult, and there's a lot of things that make this guy difficult. You think he's simple because he's just Montana. He's a big guy with a big gun, but he's actually a little bit more than that. When you actually start playing him, when you feel the hugeness of this character, like, look at me, I'm trying to hide behind this wall. Everybody can see me. Can't hide with Montana. He's not a ninja. He's definitely not a ninja. But when you start to really feel the size of this character, and wait a minute, it looks like there might be a fight brewing off. Wrath is going for that engage, but I'm not going to have that. Going to go in with Lumberjack Dash. Going to activate the Hailstorm to get that slowing effect. I don't need the damage reduction, but the slow is going to help secure the kill, and is also going to protect Oscar Mike. It's going to slow out his attack speed as well. And here we go. We're picking that next ability. To the cool, it's not to the cooler, it's just the cooler. Okay, I messed that up a little bit, but yeah, the cooler minigun heat is decreased with each shot fired while Hailstorm is active. So this is actually going to allow you to fire your minigun a little bit more consistently. You can already put down a pretty decent spray of fire with it. And look, wait a minute, why am I going for this engage? I don't think I have any teammates around, but I guess I just want to get a little bit of poke on Marquis, and I guess a little poke on Reyna as well. Gave her a little flick behind the ear there, and actually could have died in that situation, but I suppose the extra health is helping me out, so that's a good thing that I made it out in that situation. Okay, so we're seeing We're seeing some of the basic rhythms for Montana's gameplay. The enemy team actually did get a nice little bit of score there, but we do still have an advantage over them. It's 157 to 65, and I guess I thought there was an enemy around that corner, but there wasn't anybody there. But we're seeing some of the basics of Montana. Things haven't really gotten too advanced with him yet, but there are definitely some advanced maneuvers that can take place. There are definitely counter moves that you can do when you're playing as Montana. Wait a minute, I think I'm in a bad situation. I'm going to use Lumberjack Dash as an escape maneuver, and I'm just running, just going straight as far back as I can get. I think I've made it to safety, and I think it might be time to retreat at this point. Yes, it is, because Miko is actually dead as well, so she can't heal me up. So here we go. I'm going to go back to the base, and we're going to take a look at the gear that I select with Montana. I go for health regeneration, and damage reduction. The belt that I have also provides healing received in addition to the damage reduction. Healing received is a great option for Montana if you have somebody like Miko on your team to be your sort of designated healer. But it's all about survivability with him. The longer you can survive and the more punishment you can take. Wait a minute, Wrath is getting a little bit too aggressive. He's like, I see them shards and I want that money, but I'm not going to allow him to get that money, at least not without getting a little ice in your booty, right? That's why you got to wear long johns in the wintertime. When you mess with Montana, you got to put them long johns on because your ass going to get frosty. At least if you go with the ice build. There's an alternate way to play Montana. It's a little bit more aggressive, does a little bit more damage, but we're not going to talk too much about that. We're going to talk mostly about the ice. We're going to talk about the Iceman Montana. You know, you got the Iceman Kelvin. We also have the Iceman Montana. And wait a minute, Wrath is coming back on the field. Looks like he got healed up by something. So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to get that Lumberjack Dash on him, and it's definitely going to dissuade him from continuing this fight. It looks like Caldarius thought he might have been able to do something. I'm going to land that taunt on him because Wrath was nowhere to be found, and Caldarius was late to the party. For all that speed that he has, he definitely wasn't quick enough to come help his buddy Wrath out. Okay, so yeah, you know, it's a pretty slow match so far. You know, we still have a pretty significant lead as well, 243 to 74. This is looking like it might actually be a stomp. If we continue with the pacing that we have right now, we're definitely going to win within the next 10 minutes, and that's definitely going to be good for us. But, you know, if the enemy team can pull something together, if they can sort of synergize a little bit better, because once again, this is just a random group of players. This isn't like some pre-made versus pre-made tournament fancy shit. Now, this is just random guys getting in the queue, putting in some work. It looks like Marquis is a bit pushed forward, so I'm going to harass him a little bit with the minigun. But one of the struggles that I have with Montana personally is when people get too close to him, it can be difficult to track people a little bit, you know, if somebody's right in your grill. And I feel like part of that has to do with the character's height. And here we go. I'm going for that turret once again, and I'm activating the Hailstorm. So if I am going to take any sort of fight, wait a minute, Cleese done fucked up. Cleese was trying to defend that turret, but that... just let it go, brother, man. Let it go. Sometimes you just got to let the turret go. And it looks like I've got my sights set on Caldarius, and I kind of want to go for that, but I'm too low on health. But Miko is here, and Miko is providing me with the heals. I'm providing Miko with a nice little gesture to encourage him to continue healing me up. And now I'm ready to go in. I'm ready to go for Caldarius, and I do actually have my ultimate available, but I'm not going to use it in that situation. Montana's ultimate is a very powerful defensive ability, but it's also really good for chaining crowd control with that Lumberjack Dash. It's just a multifold ability. Pretty much everything with Montana is a multifold ability. Lumberjack Dash, initiation or escape, Mansformation, damage reduction, crowd control. Hailstorm, crowd control, damage reduction. Everything about Montana, it's about when do I activate it. Pick your battles. What's the best time to use my abilities? Looks like Rain is getting engaged, and she's getting that wombo combo from Mansformation. My team is going to take her out with their abilities. They're going to just shoot her out. And looks like Wrath is coming in hot. He's actually going to start spinning on me. But I'm not feeling it too much because I do have Miko healing me up, so he's going to have to back off if he wants to survive. But wait a minute now, he's actually coming back. Wrath is actually really trying to win this one. He doesn't want any minions to come past, even at the expense of his own life. But you know what, he is going to escape because he had his Cataclysmic Smash available to him. That was a really smart move on his part. He knew that he had his cooldowns available, so he knew that he could get in there, kill those minions, and get the fuck out before I would be able to kill him, because Montana doesn't have that much damage output. Now, next ability, Cold-Blooded. So I'm a cold-blooded killer, so now I do have additional health regeneration the less heat my minigun is currently generating. So when my gun is cool, then I'm going to have more health regeneration. As it gets hot, then my health regeneration is going to go down. And this pairs well with the other abilities we selected for Hailstorm. This is just going to encourage us to keep the heat on the gun as low as possible, and it will allow us to just keep firing that gun. And wait a minute, I've pretty much gone all the way in. I actually don't have any cooldowns available to me at this moment, so I'm pretty much just a big sack of meat, and we're starting to see the dangers of engaging in a fight when you don't have your cooldowns available. Miko was definitely trying to heal me as much as possible, but I bit off way more than I could handle in that situation. I said mum num num, and they said and they took me out. So we're gonna fast forward right back into the action, and we're definitely shooting up those minions. The enemy team is actually catching up a little bit. They've breached the hundreds. You know, it's 260 to 157. So we haven't actually gotten too many points since the last time we checked the score. So they might actually be making a turnaround. They just got a little bit of a score there as well. So now they have 182 to our 263. And wait a minute, I just activated Man's Formation, and Wrath used his Cataclysmic Smash and countered it. That is one of the problems with Montana, and that is what I was talking about before. We got to take a look at that again in slow motion. Man's Formation gives you an incredible amount of damage reduction, and it's a really powerful damaging attack, and it's also got crowd control associated with it as well. Wrath is coming in. I know I've got Man's Formation ready, so I'm going to activate it. Wait a minute, no I'm not. Wrath is going to activate Cataclysmic Smash, which has a faster activation time. It's also hard CC, so it's going to completely interrupt my ability, and now I am super vulnerable. I'm going to take the full force of his ultimate. I do have Hailstorm up, but Caldarius is right around the corner as well. He's going to hit me with that flashbang. He's going to start shooting me with that TMP. He's going to charge in there, just going to straight up dookie blast me. I'm going to try and get a lumberjack dash. Miko was trying to come in and save me, but it just wasn't going to be enough. There was no way I could survive that situation. My point is the timing of your Man's Formation is crucial, because if your opponent has any form of hard crowd control, they can interrupt it if their timing is good. So here we go. We're going to skip back into the action, and we're already just seeing Wrath once again playing a super aggressive game. Things are actually turning around. The score is 269 to 201, so my team is actually losing the advantage that we had slowly but surely. Enemy team is catching up, so this is definitely not the quick, decisive victory we were expecting. It looks like I'm going to pick up a quick kill on Reyna. Yeah, she is going to go down. I'm going to activate that Man's Formation. It's not going to hit anybody, but I'm doing it just for the damage reduction in that situation, because I know Marquis has the ability to take me out very quickly, very effectively with headshots, because I'm a very slow-moving character, so it's definitely not difficult to hit me in the face at all. And here we go. Looks like I might be I think I might be stuck on something. This is a little bit odd. I wouldn't normally. Yeah, the minions were actually providing a sort of body block there, so that's one of the downsides to playing Montana. You're so big, can't really see what's going on at your feet, and that's definitely. Wait a minute now, Wrath is spinning on me. I think I'm gonna go down in this situation. Yeah, that wasn't good. There's nothing to say about that. Don't do what I just did there. Look at your toes and make sure there's no minions getting you stuck. Okay, that's very important. So in addition to being a very tanky character, Montana has a pretty decent capacity to clear waves of minions, just because he can put so many shots down range. He can pretty much clear out an entire wave of minions just by shooting his minigun, so that's always pretty nice. That's definitely helpful on this particular game mode. And I do believe it's time to select a new ability. I think we're going to go with Ice Age. This is going to increase the duration of Hailstorm by 2 seconds. That's giving you more chances to slow people, and that's increasing the duration of the mitigation portion of the ability. So it's making you more survivable, making you more, giving you more ability to control people. And wait a minute, Cleese, he done fucked up. He came too far. He looks like he's trying to go toe to toe with me, but that's definitely not a good idea. It's definitely almost never a good idea to go toe to toe with Montana. You can definitely kill him if you outmaneuver him, but going toe to toe with this guy is always a bad idea, because he's so big, he's got so much health, so much damage reduction. And it seems like I had my sights set on Wrath for a second. I might be looking for some revenge, but it's going to be difficult unless I manage to somehow outplay his maneuvers. I got to time my abilities right. It looks like I went for the lumberjack dash, but I didn't actually hit Wrath with it. And I think he's sneaking around to the side. I heard him clanking on me. He's going to activate his ultimate, but I'm going to activate mine as well. And it's just going to straight up kill him. And it looks like I'm going to land the taunt. That's revenge for you. That might have been a little bit dangerous because I was getting shot up, but, you know, sometimes you got to risk it all. You know, if you want to have a good victory, you got to go big or go home. But the reason I won that encounter with Wrath right there is because I countered his ultimate in the same way he countered mine the last time. Wait a minute, I'm getting pretty aggressive now. Before we continue talking about that, we're going all the way in, but you know what? We're going right back out because I think I'm doing a little bit too much. Got to calm that down. And Khalees might need to calm that down as well because he is just going balls to the wall. He don't care. Those old saggy balls. Let's not say that. That's inappropriate. Yeah, who cares, though? He's got old saggy balls. We all know it's true. But with that last encounter, I countered Wrath's ultimate in the same way he countered mine. And that's something you have to be very conscious of when you're playing Montana. How can I counter the enemy's movements? What abilities do they have? And how can my abilities counter them? How can I use my hard crowd control to shut down my opponent? You got somebody like Wrath. Once he starts spinning, I can start that man's formation. I can use that lumberjack dash. And looks like he actually did end up assassinating somebody. He came back really fast. That's a little crazy. But yeah, so it's all about thinking about when, especially in the later parts of the game, when can I use my man's formation to just straight up counter my opponent? Wait a minute. I think that's what we call a pretty straightforward counter right there. My teammate is going to pick up the kill, so that's very good for us. And it looks like Reyna is here as well. I activated man's formation, but she's walking in the opposite direction, so it's not going to hit her. And I definitely don't really need the damage reduction in this moment. You know, I'm not in a position where I really need to run, but wait a minute. It looks like because I do have the man's formation up, I'm going to feel a little bit braver about going into the fight. But now that Wrath is here, my man's formation is down. Now this is bad. So it's timing. It's all about the timing. The timing with your abilities with Montana is crucial to your success. The next ability we're going to take, Too Big to Fail, just like the Banks. Lumberjack Dash now has a reduced cooldown, so you're going to be able to activate it more often. So now you can be a little bit more flexible with the timing of that ability, but still timing is everything with Montana. It's very crucial. Now the score, we still have a lead, but it's a tense matchup right now. I mean, it's going back and forth. Wait a minute, we're getting the big wombo combo, hitting 3 people with Lumberjack Dash and man's formation, getting a very long amount of crowd control, and now I have so much damage reduction that I'm basically invulnerable in this moment because I have health regeneration from my gear and also health regeneration from some passive abilities in my Helix. But after all those damage reduction bonuses wear off, I get chewed the fuck up. So I gotta get behind this wall and wait for Miko to heal my ass up before I get back in there. So the enemy team is very strong. So basically, if we fuck up at any point in time, they're gonna beat us. So that's why it's a tense matchup. We have the lead, we're winning, but it's tense. We're fighting for our lives. Wrath is killing everybody. He is being a very good assassin right now, so we definitely have to stop him if we want to win this. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with. He's going around, he's killing our healing stations, and he's just going to try and run right back out, even though he's got that slow effect on him. I'm going to use that lumberjack dash. I'm going to clear all that distance, but wait a minute, he's going to use that cataclysmic smash for an escape again, and he's made it to safety. Reyna's going to give him the overshield. This is some really good play we're seeing from Wrath. He is doing a lot of impressive stuff with his cataclysmic smash, with his ultimate ability. Wrath is putting in work. We got to give kudos to whoever that is playing as Wrath. It looks like he's going to take out Miko as well, and now I'm pretty much alone. He's standing by Khalees, Reyna. I'm dead. I'm dead. It's guaranteed. Wait a minute. I'm going to activate that. No, not going to do it. It's not enough. It's not enough. Damn. This man is putting in work. Okay, but we have to put in work as well. We have to select another ability from our Helix, and we're going to go for bullet buff. This is going to increase the slowing effect of Hailstorm by 100%, so that's just making that just ridiculous amount of crowd control you have with that ability. So that ability is just very stacked. It's got that damage reduction once again. It's got that slowing ability. It's very powerful. So we're going to take a look at the score again. Right now it's 407 to 404, so the enemy team has actually made a very good push in the amount of time that we skipped while I was dead. So yeah, it's tense right now. And there's only 5 minutes left on the clock, so every decision that we make is under some pretty intense scrutiny, because if they just get even a few minions down the line and manage to defend for the remainder of the game, then they're going to win it. So we've got to put in some serious work if we want to come out on top of this one. But pretty much at this point, we've seen all the different things we can do with Montana the way I have him built out. There's definitely other ways to build Montana. You can go for a more aggressive approach. You can go for a more damaging approach. But, you know, we've seen pretty much the full toolkit, so we're just going to see how the rest of this plays out. And if we can actually beat the enemy team, and more specifically, if we can stop Wrath, because that man is going on a serious rampage like none that I've ever seen before. I believe he had I think 19 kills by this point, which is pretty crazy. And I think he's right behind me, actually, so I'm kind of waiting him out. I don't want to activate my man's formation until he starts spinning, and there we go. We're seeing the counterplay once again. I fell for his trick once before. I'm not going to fall for it again. And there we go. We're starting to see. There we go. There comes the Cataclysmic Smash. I'm trying to back out, though, because there's too many enemies on the field. I don't think I have Miko behind me, but I am going to get the kill on Cleese, because Cleese is kind of thinking he might be a tank, because he's going for it. I did try and get the Lumberjack Dash on Reyna, but that is unfortunate. She is going to take me out in the end, probably because I misaimed my Lumberjack Dash. So we're going to skip right back into the action. My team has managed to get a lead once again. It looks like Wrath is coming straight back for the face. He's going to miss his Cataclysmic Smash, and this time I know that I can activate my abilities confidently. So here we go. Man's Formation, it's ready. Lumberjack Dash, it's ready. Gonna interrupt his ultimate ability, but it's not gonna be enough. I'm getting hammered from all different types of directions. We're starting to see the power of other characters against Montana. He definitely can be overwhelmed by multiple people. But here we go one more time. Man's Formation, getting that knock up. Not gonna kill Marquise, but what the hell. It's 487 to 431, so it does look like we are gonna take out the win in this one, because there's only 15 seconds left on the clock. The enemy team doesn't have any waves pushed up. But there you go, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The game is going to end up. Definitely not going to get that kill on Caldarius. He's way too fast for that. But this has been Montana. He's a deceptively difficult character to play, once again, because of his size and because of the complexity of his abilities. They're all multifaceted. So this was a very intense matchup. Wrath is going to end with 25 kills, more than 50% of his team's kills. But either way, the name of the game is Battleborn. The game mode is Meltdown. The name of the channel is iBluAirJgR Gaming for Comedy. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you next time.